Hello, and welcome to this episode about how to make a great resume with no work experience. To get a job, you need some experience. To get some experience, you need a job. That's the puzzle that candidates with no relevant work experience must solve when writing their very first resume. This bonus episode will help job seekers with no work experience to create a compelling resume. Before we start, make sure to complete the entire series on creating a winning resume. It is the foundation of our work in this episode. Only then should you continue with this episode, in which you'll learn 3 strategies to make a winning entry-level resume. They are: focus on soft skills, call attention to your capacity to learn, and highlight your educational background. The first strategy is to focus on soft skills rather than hard skills. Soft skills relate to the way you interact with other people. They're also known as people skills or interpersonal skills. Soft skills include communication, flexibility, and leadership, for example. Hard skills are teachable abilities that are easy to quantify, for example, proficiency in a foreign language or computer programming. When hiring for entry-level jobs, most employers value soft skills over hard skills because soft skills are harder to teach, while hard skills are more easily learned on the job. Let's do some brainstorming. Think of the extracurricular activities, volunteering, or internships you have done so far. Let's take the example of a dog walker. What soft skills are required to execute this activity? Communication, social, and negotiation skills are necessary to build and maintain relationships with dog owners. Time management skills are also crucial to organize the schedule of walks efficiently. We could even draw some hard skills from the example of a dog walker. Imagine they have a website and social media profiles. They probably have some web development, branding, and online marketing skills. You can probably see a trend here. This is how the section of work experience would look like to a dog walker. It doesn't matter if you don't have experience in the role you're applying for. You can still demonstrate your value by highlighting the soft skills required to execute the experiences you had. The second strategy is to highlight your capacity to learn. When hiring recent graduates, employers don't expect them to have job-related experience. However, they look for candidates who know how to act when faced with situations they were not explicitly prepared for, which is precisely what the first job is about. Employers value coachable employees, willing to learn new skills and who are motivated to grow in their careers. Therefore, highlighting your learning abilities can make your resume stand out from the competition. One way of demonstrating that you're a hungry learner is to list in your resume any certifications or credentials you pursued as a part of self-development in your career. Including credentials you sought out on your personal time shows employers your initiative to seek out additional career development opportunities, which effectively demonstrates your willingness to learn. Another way is to include any advancements or promotions you have received in your first teenage jobs, internships, or volunteering experiences. They can show that you progress quickly. For example, let's say that you were part of a student organization that offered pro bono consulting services for companies. You started as an analyst and were promoted to consultant and then to senior consultant within 1 year. Here's an example. The third strategy to creating a winning entry-level resume is to highlight your educational background. As a no-experience job seeker, your academic background is likely your strongest qualification. It is entirely possible and even expected that the education section in the resume of a recent graduate will be larger than the one of a young professional. To make your resume stand out, provide details about the topics you have studied that are related to the requirements in the job description. Let's take a look at an example of the education section on the resume of a candidate that has studied business management and is applying to a marketing intern position. Now that you know the 3 main strategies to create a winning resume, even if you have no work experience, let's go over some final tips. Tip number 1. Be careful with your wording not to transform a simple activity into something unnecessarily fancy. Highlight your skills and potential, but don't make them more significant than they are. Recruiters notice when you're trying to stretch out your experiences to seem somehow more important. Be smart with your word choice and keep it simple. Tip number 2. Don't leave lots of white space in your resume. While you shouldn't pack the page with irrelevant information, leaving a large blank section reinforces that you don't have enough work experience. We know that, the interviewer knows that, but we don't want to make this fact the focus of your resume. We want to show your future employer that you took the effort to match your previous life experiences, education, and skills with the role requirements. A resume for a first job should look like any other resume, with less emphasis on work experience and more focus on life experience. Tip number 3, add a cover letter. Resumes help give an overview of your career, but a cover letter can tell a story about specific, relevant experience. It allows you to write a compelling case for your candidacy. Sending a cover letter, mainly when not required, demonstrates that you are a motivated candidate.